Okay, so you've got all these security cameras, right? Feeling pretty good about your setup, like you've got everything under control. But what if I told you those cameras, your high-tech security system, could actually become the back door for some, cyber crook to waltz right into your life?
Yeah, it's a scary thought, isn't it? And it's more than just a thought with this whole NIS2 thing coming down the pipeline.
Right, that stack of documents you gave us, all the installation guides, best practices, and even what was it, end-of-life management. Pretty intimidating stuff.
It is. The stakes have definitely been upped. NIS2, this new EU directive, it's like a total cybersecurity makeover. And it's not just for tech companies, it's for any organization that relies on digital systems.
Like essential stuff then.
Yeah.
Energy, transportation.
Exactly. Healthcare. Even a robust CCTV setup, if it's hooked into your network, it falls under NIS2.
Wow. Okay, so we're not just talking about, like, signs anymore.
No, we're talking potential legal hot water, especially for management. I didn't know, won't cut it anymore.
Legal hot water.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've got my attention now. So it's not just about some creep watching me through my own camera.
Yeah.
There are, like, even bigger things to worry about.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. What if someone hacks your camera and then, boom, they're inside your whole network?
Like in the movies.
Yeah.
Cleaning out bank accounts and, I don't know.
You're getting it. Nope. You have to worry about internal risks, too. One report you shared, the one from VideONet, it actually had this case study. An employee passed over for a promotion, used a misconfigured camera setting, and stole a bunch of sensitive company data.
No way. See, I'd be too afraid of getting caught to even try something like that. But that's wild. So it's like that saying, insider threats are often the most dangerous.
Exactly. It's like leaving your house keys with someone you don't trust completely.
Makes you think twice about who you hire.
Mm.
So speaking of VideONet, they had that whole best practices document, right? It seems like they're really big on the ecosystem approach to security, not just focusing on the cameras themselves, but the whole shebang.
Right. They make a great point. It's like building a fortress. You wouldn't have this super strong front gate and then, leave the back door wide open.
Oh, totally.
So they've really emphasized physical security, like making sure your server rooms are locked down, no exceptions.
Oh, guilty as charged. I've definitely used a chair to prop a door open before.
Haven't we all? But yeah, those little things matter.
Okay, so physical security, step one. What else do they have on their checklist?
Strong, unique passwords. And I mean everywhere. Cameras, servers, all of the software you use.
Yeah, because those default passwords are just
a hacker's dream. Mm-hmm. VideONet actually cited a statistic over 60% of breaches they investigated, weak or easy-to-guess passwords were involved. Crazy, right?
Password 123 just doesn't cut it anymore, I guess. But seriously, trying to remember a million different passwords.
Right. It's tough. That's where Password Manager comes in.
Yeah, those things are lifesavers.
They keep everything encrypted, secure. You only have to remember one master password.
One to rule them all. Okay, strong passwords, check. What else should we be thinking about when we're building our security fortress?
Network segmentation. It's kind of like building those internal walls in your fortress. You keep your camera network separate from your main business network, so even if one gets breached,
the other one is still safe.
Exactly. You're containing the damage. Imagine a hacker gets into your camera system. Network segmentation means they hit a wall instead of getting access to, say, your financial data.
Like compartmentalizing. That makes sense. So it's like containing the blast radius if something does go wrong.
You got it. And of course, don't forget about updates and patches. Those are like your digital immune system.
Right. Keep everything up to date.
Religiously. But be smart about it. VideONet, they actually advise against having auto updates for your most critical systems. Do it manually, they say, during planned downtime to avoid any,
surprises.
Exactly. Nobody wants to deal with those.
Yeah. Surprises are never fun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to, your entire security system going down. Speaking of which, we got to talk about backups, right? Can't forget those.
Absolutely. Backups are like your safety net.
Right, because if something goes wrong...
You don't just lose a little bit of data. You could lose everything. I think VideONet had a story about a company that they decided to postpone their backup schedule.
Oh, no. Why would they do that?
Just by 1 week. And guess what? Bam, ransomware attack.
No way.
They lost months of footage because they didn't have a recent restore point.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Okay, so backups are important. And speaking of things we don't like to think about, but probably should, we were talking about end-of-life management earlier.
Mm-hmm.
For hardware specifically, What is that?
Okay, so it's not just about keeping your data safe while the cameras are running. It's also about what happens when you get rid of those old devices.
Oh, right, right. You can't just, like, throw them in the trash, can you?
Exactly. That installation guide you gave me, it goes on and on about data sanitization methods. You really got to make sure that stuff is gone.
Data sanitization. That sounds intense, like something out of a spy movie.
It's essential, though. Think about it. Say a hard drive from your camera system, it ends up in the wrong hands. Could still have footage on it, login credentials.
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that would be bad.
The guide, it specifically mentions things like data overwriting. Basically, you digitally shred the information. And for really sensitive cases, they even recommend physical destruction.
Wow. So you're talking, like, taking a hammer to it. That's serious.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but yeah, it's not something to be taken lightly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Strong passwords, network segmentation, even smashing up our old hard drives. But then there's this whole NIS2 thing looming out there.
Right.
So for people who, maybe they think these new regulations might apply to them, what are the key takeaways?
Well, first off, NIS2 is a big deal. Even if you're not in the EU, these standards, they're going to become the norm. It's like setting the bar.
So like a global standard, almost.
Right. Pretty much. And one of the biggest things with NIS2, it's the focus on supply chain security. Remember that document from VideONet? The one that listed all the potential risks based on your supplier type?
Yeah, that was kind of scary, actually.
It is, because it's not just about you doing everything right. It's about everyone in the chain,
Right.
Hardware manufacturers, software developers, even subcontractors. Any one of them could be a weak link.
Yeah, and it only takes one weak link to break the chain, right?
Exactly. NIS2 gets that. It says you can't just assume your vendors are doing their due diligence. You need proof. They have to show you they meet certain cybersecurity standards.
So it's like choosing a business partner almost, not just a vendor. You really got to vet them.
Right. What's their security track record? Do they have an incident response plan if things go sideways? You have to ask these questions.
Because if something does go wrong.
You want to know they've got your back.
Exactly. It's like you said earlier, trust but verify.
Exactly. And NIS2 gives you the tools to do that, which is great.
That is good news, at least. Although I'm not going to lie, with all this information, it's kind of overwhelming. Like, how do you even keep up? It's a full-time job.
Well,
It's a lot, right? This whole cybersecurity world. I like to think I'm pretty tech savvy, but even I'm feeling a little, I don't know.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's understandable. It's like anything else, though, any new field. Remember when you got your first Wi-Fi router?
Oh, don't even remind me. That was a nightmare.
Exactly. But now you can probably set one up in your sleep. Cybersecurity, it's the same thing. It just takes a little time.
Okay, that actually makes me feel better. So start with the basics, choose your vendors carefully, and just, try to stay informed.
You got it.
But with all this talk about risks and hackers and everything, is there a danger of getting, like, too paranoid?
Oh, for sure. You can't live in a constant state of fear, right?
Right.
It's about balance. Be aware of the risks, but don't let them, stop you from doing what you need to do.
Don't live in a bunker.
Exactly. And actually, VideONet, they address this in one of their reports, the cost analysis. They found that globally, the cost of cybercrime, it's way, way more than what businesses spend on security measures.
Oh, interesting. So it's like that saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
100%. Investing in cybersecurity, it's not just about checking boxes. It's about protecting yourself.
Yeah.
Your assets, your reputation.
Peace of mind.
Exactly.
And you can't really put a price on that, can you?
Yeah.
So it really feels like, from all these documents we've looked at, the big takeaway is cybersecurity, it's not just an IT problem anymore.
Nope.
It's everybody's problem.
It really is. It's about building a culture of security from the top down.
Yeah, everyone has to do their part.
Like that old saying, it takes a village.
Love that.
Yeah.
So be proactive, educate yourself, and make security part of your company's DNA. I'm really starting to get why this whole deep dive was so important. Any final words of wisdom you want to leave our listeners with?
Knowledge is power, especially in the cybersecurity world. Stay curious, stay vigilant.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Exactly. There are resources out there.
Awesome. Well, huge thank you to our expert for guiding us through all of this. And to you, our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wild world of CCTV security and NIS2. We hope you learned a lot. Until next time, stay safe out there.